Hey, welcome to Choose Your Own Path Sunday today. And what are we doing today? Well, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm fixing my foredome. Won't say fixing. What we're doing is we're going to assemble it back together. Because what happened was it got twisted. I was carving, and it got twisted, and it snapped my piece. So what I did was I went to Lee Valley's and I bought me another one. I did recommend in one of my videos that you maybe call up Fordham or go online and check them out and get a heavy duty one. I would recommend it. That will be my next purchase, but I needed one like pretty darn soon, like to do stuff. So what I did was I went and purchased another one with a new. This is with the spring or the coil, I guess, around it. The last time I bought one, I did not get the lubricant for it. So this is pretty important. It stops it from, I guess, rusting, friction, stuff like that. So it also gave me brushes, which I don't need to change as of yet. It will be soon enough. So we'll put that aside. So they give you the old handy-dandy manual, what to do, what not to do. Pretty straightforward. Unfortunately with mine, this is the piece that goes on to here, and it tightens and it keeps it. It has a little screw to hold in the shaft sleeve part. Mine is cracked. Not a big deal. It still works. Probably have to order another one, so that's fine. So all this entails is having to insert this into the shaft and then attaching it back to the foredome. Very simple. One thing is we'll start off with is we'll put a little bit of lubricant on it, so we'll have to open it up. Now I think they recommend doing this every, it says checked, wiped, clean, and lubricated with grease every 50 hours of use. With every 200 hours of use, that shaft should be thoroughly clean and solvent. Using the stuff here is the best thing to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it up. Very simple. And then we're just going to give it a small amount of coating, a very light coating of grease to the shaft, starting at the top, working down to about 1 inch to the end. So very simple. I'm just gonna add, I guess you could use a glove, whatever, if you want. I'm not scared to use my fingers. So we'll just add a little bit, and we'll just add this to the shaft. As you can see, very simple, very straightforward. Just going up and down with it, I guess you could say. Stuff is pretty greasy, I guess, pretty oily. Very important to keep this guy lubricated at all times, or else you're going to get what I had happen, which was it snapped. Also, you know, it's important that when you're using your foredomes, any kind of flex shaft, is mainly not to have it bent, keeping it, you know, fairly straight. I guess it's just common to do it right, or else you'll snap these things. And you know, if they get caught up in a piece of wood and they jam, yeah, it's always good to have two of these. Unfortunately, I don't have two. I only have one, which is fine. So out of the camera for a sec. I need a towel. Always have a shop towel. In fact, I got some in my pocket. So yeah, very simple. We're just going to insert. There's a way to. This is the shaft part, which would go into the foredome to a certain point. This will be mounted inside of here, this piece here. So all we're going to do is we're going to insert this in, and we can get it in there. That'd be nice. There we go. And then it just should fall right through, which is perfect. Takes a little bit of practice. and then that just slides in like so. So the next step would be to, ooh, I think I did that wrong. The first step would obviously be to put, now we're doing this together because I only did it once, is to put this piece in first. Aha! Sometimes you just gotta think before you do stuff, right? So then we will insert this guy. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. Inside of here, which we're having a great time doing. Like so. Really greasy job. Not fun. No big deal. And then this will attach as so. My hands. So then what we have, does that make sense? Yes, it does. So then what we're going to do is we're going to install, this has a correct piece that has a screw tip that would obviously go into here. And having a little screwdriver, which I just had, there she is, we will tighten this up. I'm fairly blind, so I don't see very well anymore. That's not so complicated. There we go. Nice and tight. Tight enough that it stays on there, which is a good idea. Then, of course, we will insert this piece and tighten it. This piece is in, there's another little screw here at the top that will hold the shaft onto the actual machine itself, and that goes on pretty tight. Tight enough. It doesn't have to be, should be snug, I guess, you know, hand tight, and you're not putting any power tools in there. And then last but not least would be the mounting of onto the machine, which again, because mine is broken or twisted, it will go on, but it'll take a little bit of, we're going to take this off here, maybe make it easier, and then just have this turned on like this. This is a little bit odd to do. Let's see if I'm on the right way. There we go. So we're just going to put that on, and again, same thing. It doesn't have to be over tightened. Mine won't over tighten because it has a crack in here, but it'll be on there tight. All right, so now we have the shaft out, and we're ready to install a burr, the old kutzall burr that I'll be putting on here. It has to line up inside. There's a quick release ones out here that they have. It's really good. This one, it's an older model. And then we shall turn it on and try it. Look at that. It's like magic, eh? Not really. But very important to make sure, I would say get a heavy duty one. I would go to Foredome's site, check out what they have, make sure it matches your model. Some of them are just standard, I'm sure of it. And then make sure you get the lubricant. Maybe that's important. And yeah, and then depending on what kind of chucks you want, or handles, I guess you could call it, there's many different sizes. They also come with inside, they have the different kind of chucks. I guess you'd call it a chuck because you would put the bit in. Two different tools, saber tooth and kutzall. I'm working with kutzall now. Saber tooth I'll still use, but kutzall is my main to go. Now, I've said it before, check out the site. We also have this to look at. This is the magazine that they gave us. Different burrs they're telling us about. They give us an overall what it's made of, in general, how the grits work. You have an original grit, you have an extreme, and then you have the kutzall grit. it says that tailor-made tools, original, kutzall. So feature most popular, cutting random teeth. Okay, extreme. There was a one I was reading here. Consonants. So it says no matter your project, every kutzall is specifically engineered to cut faster, last longer, and optimize creative control. Whether it's wood, ice, stone, rubber, composites, or plastic, your everyday choice is kutzall, and it is. It's these tools are very, very, very good. Like they're tough and they don't wear out. And I'm just throwing that out because again, I'm affiliated with them, and I recommend them. So that would be the way to go with it, is to pick out a tool that you think is the best. A little thing about kutzall that I learned about is they've been out for a long time. Obviously, we know that their competitor is Sabertooth, which, I can't say for sure because I don't know the businesses. Could have been basically copied or similar to what these are, of course. Coffee time. But they have been out for a long time, longer than the other companies have. So it's just to say that what you prefer. Everybody has a different kind of look at what tools are, what they love, what they use. I've had both, and I'm happy with both, but I'm even happier with kutzall because of the way they're treating me, and they treat the rest of you guys perfect. Just get out there and look at what they have. They have different coatings, of course, different grits, and even like I just finished using their rasp. Now, this thing is a dog, man. It's a monster. It worked well. It's a little bit clogged up, but what rasp isn't. Easy to fix. Either get yourself a wire brush and simply just, brush it. A couple of good ones, it's back to normal. Or, as they say in here, you can use a torch. You could put them in solvents. I don't like solvents. To me, I don't put my tools in solvents. I don't want to have any rust issues or, I don't like it. But it says you could do it. The brush works. A metal wire brush is done. It's good. So, there's a wide range of bits to look at. I've had a couple of people say they weren't too fond of these guys. Now, this is their original bit. They say they clog up and da-da-da-da. You know what? No tool's not going to clog up. I hate to tell you that, but you're working with wood. Wet, dry, fibers get in there, clog up. Well, here's your solution. Just give it a little bit of scrape. Put them, get yourself a torch, give them a little bit of burn. They clean up. It's perfect. And these are actually kind of neat. I still haven't had to use this yet. I haven't used a couple of the tools yet from kutzall, but I am going to be definitely using these ASAP because I have a couple of projects that I want to work on. Another thing is there's a carving competition that's coming out. It's a workshop, and I was invited by one of the gentlemen. Now, this is in Tyndall, Manitoba, which is in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And one of the biggest things is he asked me if I can get some tools to maybe bring out there to show the people, maybe do some sales, which would be great, and show people that what these tools can do. A lot of people don't have these tools. The chainsaw community, they do use bits, but sometimes they get them from like our Canadian Tire. And I know personally, I have a set of them, and I can tell you right now, if I can find them right here, I would not, and I say not recommend these ones for me, not for anybody else. I shouldn't say that because these could work out for other people. They just, there's not very much to them. They clog up really fast. Easy to clean, don't get me wrong, but they clog up fast, and then you're constantly cleaning these guys. They don't have very much of a surface to them, I find. They're not very surfacey good. So, I mean, they do have different kinds of bits, and that's great, but they almost look like, this one looks like a pineapple, because the tip's shape is like rounded over. I don't know. I tried them, not for me. I just wasn't impressed. Though, there are different people that like that kind of stuff. Like, here's a really crazy metal bit. This thing is a dog. It works really good to round it out. But the problem with it is it doesn't stay sharp. No way to sharpen this. Not that I know of. I mean, you could get in there with a little file if you want. I don't know. Not for me. I don't use tools like this. So, but these still work well. It's a different kind of carbide. With most of these tools, we know what they're made of. Right off the bat, hogging. They're good for hogging and really getting everything out. So randomly position. He's ready to finish. I did read it. Give me 1 second. I know I'm holding up the videos here. Grinders. So yeah, they go in grinders, die grinders. Everything is really, really well made. So, and then again, we'll look at it this for their bits. They do have a wide selection. Like I said, there's the ball nose, cylinders, dovetails, flames, roto saws, spheres, taper, and then there's also into it. There's all the rasps that I have explained. I have one myself, and then they do have the discs. The discs are amazing. They're sharp. I have one from way before I bought one, and you have your two. I guess they have two designs with this one. It says there is the disc wheel and the shaping disc. So the disc wheel, it tells you, are the perfect tool for concave shaping, giving you effortless control while adding extra levels of dimensions into your creations. Their rounded form and rapid cutting action make them excellent for contouring, sculpted chairs, large bowls, and even dimensional lumber. Why not? Then there's the shaping disc. It says full rounded dishes. The shaping disc has a less pronounced curvature, which allows you to effortlessly level high spots or adjust uneven spots. The coating wraps over at the outer diameter, allowing for edge-on detailing despite their relatively flat shape. Their slight curve allows for controlled freehand, flat, or convex shaping. I can tell you they are sharp and they do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, the book has somewhat of explanations to what they do, but I mean, you'll never get an explanation unless you're hands-on, right? And that's the way I see it. You got to be hands-on. You get these tools, you use them. Good for feathering, making great grooves into wood, designs, sanding, everything. Like, I mean, it all works out perfectly. So to wrap this up, again, this was about working on my foredome and then putting a little bit of the kutzall into it too, because why not? That's what we're supposed to do, is give out a lot of context to what we like to do. So take a look at kutzall.com, go to the promo code, put RV Woodcrafts in capital letters. You get, I think it's 5% off. Better than nothing, right? Check it out. You'll really enjoy them. All right, take care, everybody, and don't forget to choose your own path, right? All right, have a great day.